Hey peeps, what's going on? It's Josh. And I was just starting my day and I got up and spent some time with Maggie while she was getting ready and had a pretty good morning actually. And I was kind of preoccupied. I've been thinking a lot this morning and even last night about insecurity. Why do we feel it? Well, I believe, and I'm sure there's a lot of different opinions on the matter and a lot of different studies and so on and so forth, but I'm sorry. Did you guys want to see a pug? Did you want to see a little pug? Do you want to say hi to the peeps? Good morning, peeps. Where with my mama? Just thought you might want to see a little pug before you sit through one of my long ass vlogs. Why do we have insecurity? For me, I believe that our insecurity starts with childhood. And I believe that that's where a lot of it comes from, whether or not, maybe you have a parent who was particularly harsh or was in an abusive situation. And so either they spoke to you in a harsh way in your formative years, or they were spoken to in a harsh way, or you seen? Nope. You saw someone who was very close to you being spoken to in a harsh way. And it changed the way that you view how it's okay for people to talk to you. Now, having said this, because I am acutely aware of being called a victim, I'm not saying that you can't change this. I am simply saying it is. It's something that is. And I think that we carry this, unless we make the cognitive decision to change our belief systems, we carry this into adulthood. And it's this heavy bag of luggage that we carry, and we don't have to, in my opinion. And I have, and I do to this day. I don't know why I lug that thing around, because it's not filled with anything nice that I want or need, but I still carry it because it's what I've carried all my life. And it's what I'm used to. And I think that the key thing here is, and again, I have to say, I'm not trying to teach you guys something as much as I'm talking something out. So bear with me if you already know this, or maybe if I don't say something that you think and you think maybe I could stand to hear it, put it in the comments, because I'd love to see what you guys think. And I'm not attention whoring. I don't need comments to feel fulfilled as a YouTuber. And I don't need subscribers, although I love my peeps, and you guys know that. Or I hope you do. I don't need that feedback in order to be okay. But it would be nice to hear your thoughts. Because I feel like you guys teach me as much as any teacher ever has. And maybe some of that teaching just happens by being quiet. Because the best, well, if you're me, sometimes when there's silence, you keep talking to fill the void. And sometimes the silence is needed to make you realize something. So, where was I? Yeah, so I feel like we carry insecurity into our adulthood. And for me, I know where it started, and I can identify the root. And I can even see how the same behavior that I experienced affected my mom. And I don't know about my uncle per se, but I know that it affected my mom as well, in my opinion. It's so foggy outside. So, when you witness someone else speaking to you or to someone you care about in that way, it makes you think, depending on how that person reacts, If it's done to you and you're a child and you don't know that you should defend yourself, you won't. And then you don't, and that becomes the way that you handle that. Unless you try to make a change, which I am currently trying to do. So I'm very sensitive to put downs right now. I'm very sensitive to being spoken to in any way that's not respectful. Because I'm trying to teach myself that I deserve respect. And it may seem like something stupid. It may sound like, well, hashtag duh, like obvs. But it's not so simple as that. Realizing something in my thinking brain is different than realizing something in, I guess, what I would call my core. Or my heart, but your heart pumps blood. But like in my heart of hearts, it's not something that I truly believe. I'm always kind of waiting for someone to mimic what I experienced as a child, because it's what I expect and it's what I've come to realize that many people will do if you let them. And for a while I lost faith in other people. And I was just like, yo, people are assholes though. So I just don't expect anything different. And I attracted those kinds of people into my life. And once you attract someone into your life that repeats something that you experienced in childhood, it's hard to get rid of them, or it was for me. And I did, but it took a long time. And I don't want to say I wasted years, but I certainly would have enjoyed happier experiences during those years. So again, not a victim. I made the choice to get involved in that situation, to carry that luggage, and to specifically stay in that situation and not make a change until... and this is what brings me to, I think, for most of us, or, well, I shouldn't say that. For me, something that Dave Ramsey said rings true, that we only change when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. Interesting. So, we're only going to make a change if our current situation sucks enough that we're like, yo, anything's better than this, though. So, and to me, that doesn't sound smart. And I said that recently to Maggie about something completely different, but I had been thinking about my insecurities. And it's funny because I've never really been a jealous person, per se. Not really. In little ways, the way I feel, everyone feels jealousy at times. But if you look at it this way, insecurity, I believe, is directly linked to jealousy. Because when you feel insecure, nobody can make you feel good enough to not be jealous over something or someone. Because you don't feel like you're good enough for that person, so why would they stay with you? Why would they have sex with you? Why would they want to kiss you? Why would they want to hug you? Why would they want to be touched by you? Why would they want to spend their life with you? These are thoughts that I have had, maybe you have, and I feel like these are thoughts that an insecure person would have. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm so stupid. I'm so fat. I'm so ugly. I'm so unattractive. Who is ever going to want me? Right? And if you're in a relationship and you're feeling jealous, I felt jealous in my current relationship at times. And I'm sure I will in the future because I'm a work in progress. However, I'm looking at it from an intelligent viewpoint, whatever. I'm looking at it from an intelligent point of view. And I'm saying, because in my mind, I'm like, I can't trust everyone. I don't have to trust everyone. I have to trust one person, right? And it's interesting that even as an insecure person, and that's not all that I am, but I am insecure at times. And I am my own worst critic. And I've kind of, in the past, given myself a pass to be shitty to myself because I'm like, well, that's just how I am, and that's how I've seen people in my life be, and that's how I thought we were supposed to be so we could be humble. A humble person, in my opinion, I feel like I should look up the definition of humble, but in my opinion, a humble person doesn't think that they're a piece of shit and doesn't think that they're not worthy of love. In my opinion, a humble person knows their worth, but is still willing to put aside their ego and their whatever and either do what is necessary or be there for someone, or, doesn't have to boast about who they are in order to feel confident and okay about themselves. A humble person, in my opinion, would be, I don't actually think I'm humble because I don't actually think I'm anything special or even worthy in many instances. And that's not attractive. It's not appealing to even me. And I'm working to change that. And with every time that someone speaks to me in a less than respectful way and I say, hey, not cool, don't fucking talk to me that way. All right, I might not use the F-bomb, but every time I stand up for myself, it makes my inner critic a little weaker. And I truly believe that becoming less insecure is a matter of practice. It's a matter of, okay, so let's just touch on the fact for me, and I'm just talking this out again. I'm not trying to teach you anything. I'm just talking it out. And if this helps you, beautiful. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry. And if you find it funny, dope. And if you don't, I mean, you could be wrong. That's okay. Because I'm hilarious. I tell Maggie that all the time. She's like, no, you're not. I'm like, don't put me down. If you think about all of the negative thoughts that you feel about yourself, and then you think about the law of attraction, which I believe works. Thanks, bus. Or trash truck. You were the dopest for driving by during my video. Keeping it real. If you think about the law of attraction and how it's always working, and it's working off of your thoughts because your thoughts become things, then having insecurities and allowing yourself to indulge. And I will say indulge because being insecure, number one, it's kind of selfish. Because the people in your life love you. And you can't accept their love properly when you're insecure. You can't, because nothing they say can get past your critic because you're valuing a part of your own thoughts over what they say. And I forget who said it, but someone said that a friend is the best mirror because they will tell you, if they're a good friend, they will tell you if you honestly fuck up. But they will also tell you how amazing you are, and they will love you more than you will usually be able to love yourself, unless you're not insecure and you don't have problems with this. Which, if that's the case, I can't wait to get to where you are, because I'm not completely secure within myself at all. So it's something I'm working on. So if you feel like you're not insecure, again, can you leave it in the comments? Anything about how that feels or how you got there or whatever, or any ideas that you have that you think might help me. I guess, and I'm not trying to be humble here. I'm just honestly like, whenever I encounter someone, even if they're hateful or they seem crazy or whatever, or they have their own problems, I'll listen to what they say, because I feel like everyone you meet has something to teach you. Everyone you meet knows something that you don't know. And if you're open to that, then why the hell not learn something? I might learn something that would help me get past this. So please don't hesitate to comment if you feel like you know something that you think could help me or anyone else that watches this, because people read the comments. So, again, not attention whoring, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. So if we know that the law of attraction is always working, and we're thinking these negative thoughts, it is incredibly unfair and selfish. And I, personally, thinking of it that way helps me in ways, because I really hate the idea of being selfish or narcissistic. Although I have been called narcy before, and it stings like a mother every time somebody says it to me, because I was in an incredibly bad situation with an incredibly narcissistic person, and it was incredibly bad for my self-esteem, and I did that to myself because they didn't have the power to make me stay ultimately. I had the power to walk away the entire time. And this brings me to another thing. Be careful who you allow into your life. Be selective, because I haven't always been. And that was incredibly bad for me and incredibly dangerous, because I've loved people that said awful things to me. And again, I'm not a victim. If somebody is talking to you, if somebody looks at you and says, you're a piece of shit, you're narcissistic, you're not good enough, you're fucking crazy, you're too sensitive, you don't know what you're talking about, you must be in a weird head place, because clearly you're not seeing what I'm seeing, and you must be just seeing it wrong. When people say stuff like that to you and you don't disagree, you're actually participating in your own self-injury. You have an obligation. If you're going to allow someone in your life who at any point is going to say one of those things to you, or multiple ones of them, out of anger, in a calm time, out of frustration, out of whatever, or even if they're like, I was just joking. No, you weren't. You were just being a dick. That's what you were just being. And it's not okay. Because get this, when you allow people in your life, you're giving them energy, you're giving them time, you're giving them love, you're creating a situation where they're getting something from you, unless you're taking advantage of them. It's a two-way street. And if it's not a two-way street and you're not getting your love tank filled, so for example, for me, words of affirmation and physical touch are my two major love tanks. But I also kind of like quality time, and I get real butthurt if someone sits on their phone and ignores me during something that could be a chance to really connect. But I feel like all of the love languages are integral for all of us. But we all have ones that we care about the most. And it's very hard to love in a way that's not natural for you. For example, my mother's primary love language is gifts. Like straight up. And I don't think that way. I'll buy people gifts when I know it's appropriate, but I would rather do something for them, because to me that means more. Or I would rather, and it's not about being cheap, I would rather spend time with them. I would rather say words or give them a card that has a special written message in it. I would rather give them something that means more than just, here, I bought you a gift. Because to me, that's kind of hollow. In lieu of a gift, I would rather be held. Or, physical touch isn't my primary love language, but I love being touched, because you don't have to touch me. But also I'm an introvert, so with Maggie, I love it when she reaches out and grabs my hand, because to me that's almost like an interaction that I didn't have to think about. It's almost It's not my favorite thing that she does. My favorite thing is when we have deep, meaningful communication where, like, we're talking and getting to know each other better. Because it's been like 5 months, y'all. We're still getting to know each other. That's the thing that's happening, and I love it. And I feel like, and like, yeah, I like when she pays me compliments and stuff. And I'm making a point. This is all like a side talk, but also knowing how you feel loved helps with insecurity, in my opinion. So knowing that I don't always want to be the one, like, physical touch for me has to go 2 ways. If I'm touching you, I also want to be touched. I don't mean in a sexual way, although, I mean, but you know what I mean? Like, I just made it awkward and I totally didn't mean to. But, like, just even natural touches that you would do with, like, just a friend. Like, put your hand on their shoulder if they're upset or something. Like, if it's all one way, then that doesn't, for me, doesn't fill my love tank. It's got to be, in order for it to fill my love tank, it's got to be give and take. And I just start getting frustrated when I'm putting energy into someone else and I'm not seeing the same coming back. Or they're trying to fill my love tank in other ways that don't really do that. I mean, I care about things. Yeah, I love gifts. But Mom and I never connected over that because she really loves gifts. And so she would buy me stuff. And I'm like, that's cool. And but then she would turn around and tell me she didn't need me. That's the worst thing that you can say to someone, in my opinion, to me. That's the worst thing you could say to me, since my words of affirmation is like my primary love language. I want to feel needed. I want to feel cared about. I want to hear, not constant, but I want to hear feedback. That, like, things are good and that I'm appreciated. But appreciation's not the main part of it, actually. This should have probably been a different vlog because I'm just rambling. This just shows you I am not scripted because the tangents be popping. Sometimes things fall out of my mouth and I just don't even know. So yeah, basically the love languages, in my opinion, are very important, especially if you're insecure. Because insecurity for me is based in that inner critic that says the most awful things to you. And so, number one, when you know your love languages and you know yourself, you could tell other people how they can love you and what you deserve. Like, it's almost like you're making a list of what do's and don'ts. Don't do this to me. Do this. Don't do this to me. Do this. And it's almost like that's telling you, the insecure self, how to act towards yourself. Because it's very dangerous, in my opinion, to allow yourself to treat yourself like shit. And the reason for that, I feel, is because when you're shitty to yourself, other people feel like they can be too. And it's not even a communication that's verbal. I feel like it happens and you're just like, why are you being so shitty to me? Why are you speaking to me like this? Oh, because you think because I'm shitty to myself, you can be too? Fuck that. No. And here's another part that I wanted to specifically talk about because I struggle with it. When you really love someone and you bring them into your life and you allow them into even a part of your heart, and they say or do awful things that mimic or remind you of or even copy your inner critic, for me, I go the fuck off. I go off. I've had some really crappy careers. I've been a jack of all trades, master of none. And that sounds like I'm being shitty, right? But the only trade I've ever mastered was working with dogs. It's what I'm good at. It's what I know. It's what I love. And it's my passion. And I think that's why it's what I'm good at. When someone... In the past, I've had people talk trash about my job. Like, well, you can hardly talk about anybody when you do what you do. And I snapped. How dare you sound like my inner critic? How dare you speak to me that way? Who do you think you are? That's a problem. That's something. And I stood up for myself, though. So I'm not just saying this to bitch about the fact that that person said something that just happened to mimic my inner critic and they didn't even know. How are they supposed to know? It wasn't on my don't list because I was still doing it to me. So how the fuck should she know not to say that? Because I'll tell you what. People are emotional creatures. We suck sometimes. We're human, so we're going to make mistakes. We're going to fuck up. We're going to say things that aren't cool. Sorry for all the cussing in this. I apologize. But I'm just kind of saying what's in my heart. And if that offends anyone, I apologize. It's not my intention. It's just me being real. How is she supposed to know not to say that if I've said it about myself? And if I'm apologetic about who I am and what I do and how I act and how I look and all of these things, why wouldn't someone else feel completely free to talk trash to me in those avenues? Or not avenues, in those areas of my life? Well, shit, that's how you talk about yourself. I didn't know you were going to get so butthurt when I did it. Stop. So, you're okay. Snuggle down. You got a blankie. So, when you do have strong feelings because you love someone and they say something to you that mimics your inner critic, that mimics your very insecurities, they don't know that. Not on a cognitive level. So try, even though they shouldn't be saying those things to you, try and react with love. And I'm telling myself as much as I'm telling you, okay? Because this is hard. Because me, talk about it in terms of myself. I have a very strong reaction to someone else saying something that I have myself have thought or said or whatever. It's kind of like if you have a family member that you know is kind of dysfunctional for any reason or way or whatever, and you know it and you see it and you say it, but then one of your friends is like, yo, he's so dysfunctional though, and you're like, fuck you, man, don't say that. No. That's the exact way that I react about my insecurities. Not necessarily fair, right? Because if somebody else is just agreeing with what you're saying or acting or putting off, that's not really their fault. Yeah, maybe they shouldn't do that, but they've got their own shit to deal with. And nobody's perfect. Nobody's going to be Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil isn't even Dr. Phil. I don't like Dr. Phil. Nobody's perfect. Everybody has their own bag of stuff they're carrying. And it may not be insecurities. It may not be the same as yours. But, like, they're not specifically trying to cut you to the core. Well, some people are. And they shouldn't be in your life then. That brings me to a side note. Last year when we were doing the nano write-ins, one of my friends brought one of her friends. And one of her friends reminded me exactly of someone that was previously in my life that was very abusive and narcissistic, and I saw it instantly, and I was like, nope, no, I know you. I don't know you, but I know you, and I don't want you in my life. I didn't say that. It was more like, it was nice to meet you, have a good night. She probably didn't have any idea. Or maybe she did know that I didn't like her, but she didn't know why. When you're bringing people into your life, don't just accept anyone. because you don't have to. And that's a lesson that I had to learn even in the past year or so. And I'm 35. When might I grow up? When might that happen? At some point, I'm hoping. Or not. You don't have to have people in your life that are going to treat you like shit. Because that only makes your inner critic, your inner meanie, your inner Grumpus, it only makes that stronger. And you don't need that to be stronger. You need to be stronger. I need to be stronger. I need to love myself. I need to know that, yeah, I might have a lazy eye. I might have messed up teeth. I might be overweight. I might be trans, and I'm not transitioning, and that's real confusing for just about anyone that knows me. I'm a lot to take. And even saying that is bad. Because it's so self-deprecating. And Maggie tells me all the time, and this is how I know she really loves me, guys. And she's really good for me. Even though when we get mad, sometimes we say stuff that we shouldn't. And we're learning about each other. She says, I hate it when you do that self-deprecating shit. I hate it. And she gets so mad at me. And it took me a little while. I'm like, why do you care? It's how I view myself. But I get it. I get it, babe, if you're watching this. This is a long vlog. I hope you're not watching it. Even that was bad to say. You see? It's like your inner voice. And it's fucked sometimes. And you need to fix it. Not you, but I mean you as in anyone, as in me. I need to fix this. Because it's not good for me. And it's not actually serving me. Although it's been a coping mechanism. It sure has. It's gotten me through the years. But it's not going to get me through the next year. Or even the next hour. I don't want to have kids and be this person and have them witness that and have them do it. Because it is coming to the point where I'm thinking about kids and looking forward to them and wanting them in my life. And I'm an uncle and I want to be a good uncle. And I want to be a good influence on the children that are going to be in my life for the rest of my life. I want to be better than I've ever been because I want to be a good parent. I want to be a good dad. And so it's time to shit or get off the pot, so to speak. Sorry, Caitlin. It's time to start changing my belief systems. And maybe I'm doing it for the wrong reasons. Maybe doing it for kids is the wrong reason. But it's a damn fine motivator. When I think about, like, yesterday I did Jillian Michaels' Ripped in 30 for the first time. Well, not for the first time, but for the first time again. I did it before and loved it. And I found myself getting emotional because I'm so out of shape. And I'm so strong in ways, but I'm out of shape and I've let myself get weak physically and emotionally. And I'm still healing from the situation that I just came from. I'm still healing. And I know that sounds victim-esque, but it's not, actually. Some walls got banged up. There's some holes in my drywall that need to be patched up and made pretty again. And I deserve to be pretty again. And I don't really believe that, which makes it difficult to even say, but I deserve better than what I was allowing. And I deserve better, and I know that. And I'm never going to allow that again. Now, I've also kind of swung to the opposite end of the spectrum where I've been like, nobody's allowed to talk to me in a disrespectful way. And Maggie will say something, and I'm like, are you disrespecting me? I don't say it exactly like that, but I'm like, oversensitive to it because I'm trying to make a change. And this is the spectrum, right? And you're swinging. And you go to opposite ends, and I do. Or she'll say something, and it won't even be like something that she was just joking. Just joking. Just joking is dangerous. So be careful with that, kids. But also, don't be so sensitive that someone can't be playful with you. Because sometimes she'll say something, and I'm already so shitty to myself that it crushes me because she's really important to me. Or my mom will say something to me, and this happens very often. My mom will say something to me, and she'll be like, I was just joking, but it was a really awful statement. Like, really hurtful. And I'll be like, what? That hurt. It's like when you're shadow boxing and then, or slap boxing or slap fighting as a kid and somebody hits too hard and then you hit back hard and you hit back and it escalates. Well, it's almost like that first slap that's too hard. Like, ow, that hurt. And you can either react appropriately and say, no, okay, no, that was too hard. And let that be. Or you can escalate and blow up, like I do sometimes, and it sucks. And I'm not proud of it, but it does happen. And you say something shitty back, and then that person's like, I was just joking, why are we getting serious? Because they didn't know they hit too hard. And if you had just communicated, they could have just been like, oh, okay, I won't say that again. But you overreact, and then they overreact, and then it's boom. Or you can do the, oh, they hit me so hard, I deserve it, they're right, I'm such a piece of shit, and I can't even. And I've done all. Well, I don't react appropriately as much as I should. I try to, but it doesn't happen because I have a temper. I feel like I come by it honestly. I feel like my mom has a temper. I feel like it's not something that I'm proud of, and it's not something I want to continue to be. Anyway, so back to the Jillian Michaels, because I am all over the place. I did the workout and I got emotional. Because for me, exercise is linked to thinking. A lot of times, all of my thoughts come to me when I'm exercising or stretching or whatever. And I got emotional. And I felt like all my nerves were on top of my skin. And that means you're in it, you know? For me, that means I'm in it. I'm thinking about stuff. I'm like a snake shedding its skin. I would imagine their new skin is sensitive for a little bit. And I'm shedding some old skin right now. And hopefully some old pounds. I've already started losing weight, but hopefully it continues. So, interestingly enough, I did the workout, and last night I was very sensitive, and I felt very uncertain about me. Unsure about what I was feeling, and it takes me time to process to figure out what the hell I'm thinking or feeling. And I came to the conclusion that I don't want to continue on this path of heading towards having children as I am. I mean, as far as the trans thing goes, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to be. But as far as emotionally, as far as my emotions go and as far as my insecurities go, I have work to do. I've got work to do, peeps. And I am doing the work. And these help. And Maggie helps. And sometimes she hurts. She doesn't mean to, but it's a part of the process. Because I'm finding the spectrum's here, and I'm finding out how to stay here. And not be all the way over here or all the way over here. And it's never been something that I've been particularly good at. I tend to be passionate. Whether it's one way or the other. Whether it's intense love or intense anger or intense frustration or whatever. my emotions tend to run hot. And I'm working on myself. And that feels good, but it also feels bad. Because I am biologically female. I still have hormones too. And last night, I feel like hormones were also in play, but I didn't realize it until today. And then when I realized it, I was just kind of like, oh, so that's why I hate it when people are like, that's why. And, you know, they act like you were so awful that there had to be an explanation. Like I don't have the right to just be in a shitty mood or to be grumpy sometimes. I don't need a reason to be grumpy, trust me. Grumpus happens, whether or not I want it to. And that doesn't mean you have to be a slave to your emotions, but it means that shit's gonna happen, basically. Anyway, so basically that's what I was thinking about this morning. All of these things were in my head. And you guys are like my pensive in a way where I can take things out of my head and just talk about one topic. And that's what I meant to talk about, was just insecurity. And talk about it a little bit, like, why do I feel so insecure? Why, I mean, yes, I've been cheated on twice now. And I'm terrified it'll happen again because it hurts. It hurts. It really hurts. It really hurts. Have any of you been cheated on? It's very painful. Because it's a behavior that directly coincides with my inner critic, my insecurities already. Yep, you weren't good enough. She cheated on you. That was the thing that happened. It'll happen again because you're a fucking loser. This happens in my head. If anybody else said it, I'd be like, what? I'd either get really mad or get really upset or like cry. All are reactions that are within the realm of what I've done. And I don't want to say that a reaction isn't okay, but it's much better to be appropriate when you react to someone. Or when you respond versus reacting and like blowing up. It doesn't need to be like a nuclear detonation. I don't even know if that's the right word. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to explode if somebody talks to me in a crappy way. I could just be like, you know what? I don't like that. Could you maybe not? And if they're upset about the fact that I said I didn't like something and I don't want to hear that, that's their problem. At that point, a confident a confident, secure person would say that. Hey, you know, I don't like hearing that so much. Could you not say that to me? And wait. And be calm. And if the person that said it blows up, then they're kind of just a jerk. If they can't handle hearing feedback about what you do or don't want to hear, that's their bag. Again, you've got your own, and it's got plenty of stuff in it, right? I know I do. It's sitting right over there, and nobody else can see it, but I sure pick it up every time I move around. It's real heavy. I would like to let it go, and I'm working on it. To me, it looks like a bowling ball bag. I don't know if that's weird, but I visualize certain things and, you know, try and make sense of everything that way. The long story short is, I'm changing for the children that Maggie and I are going to have. I'm changing for Maggie. I'm changing for my sisters. I'm changing for everyone that I love in my life. But mostly I'm changing for me. Because God, it's hard to say. It sounds like, even to me, I'm like, yo, you're going to watch this back and it looks like you're being dramatic. I'm not. It's hard for me to say that I deserve love. And that's messed up. I want to fix that. Maybe you guys can help me with something. I did a post a while back on Facebook. Tell me 5 reasons why you're amazing. And Maggie's comment was, can you tell me 5 reasons why you're amazing? And my mom liked that. Because I think on some level, my mom has some of the same issues that I do, which is why she's so harsh sometimes. But I don't know for sure. But I think. And I do a lot of analyzing, and that drives my mom nuts. But it's how I process the world. It's just how I am. That's not something I want to change. I love being analytical and being that part of me. I think it would be really cool if you make videos, make a video. Maybe. I don't know. If you do comments, leave a comment. If you're my friend on Facebook and you don't feel like you have the gumption, gumption's not the right word. If you don't feel safe posting this publicly, send me a message on Facebook. But it would really help me if you guys could tell me why you love yourself and why you deserve love and what, because I want to focus on the positive. I've talked a lot about my insecurities, and I have no problem talking about yours. If you need to talk about it, you know I love you guys and I want to be here for you. But focusing on the positive at the end of this, tell me why you deserve love and why tell me the good things. Tell me something good. Because I would really like to hear something good. And there's a certain energy that you share when you love yourself and you love others. And you're needy, not in a bad way, but like I tell Maggie all the time, I need you. And she didn't say it back at first because I think it made her a little uncomfortable, but I don't know for sure because I'm not her. But after a while, she started saying it. And I'm not saying it was because of me, but I'm saying that when you open a dialogue between two people, if one person says, I really love you, it gives the other person permission to say it back. And some people feel pressure, and that's not so good, because maybe that means something was said early or something was said, whatever. But there's a certain power in telling someone something. It gives them permission to do the same in a sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm not sure if this is translating well. I just hit my glasses. When you love yourself, it kind of, in my opinion, when I meet someone that loves themselves, like one of the people that was in my old writing group, not old writing group, but in Kalamazoo, she is particularly, she has health issues and stuff, but she's someone that very clearly does love herself. And it's kind of effortless. And she's not someone I know very well, but like, I respected that quality about her, and it made me feel like, I don't know, I had a little bit more permission to love myself. And I don't know, I kind of feel like there's something to that. So, I would like to open a dialogue between us peeps. I would love to hear, you're not going to annoy me. I would love to hear in a comment, in a video, in a Facebook message or a Facebook post or whatever. Tag me in it if you want. You don't have to. But I would love to hear why you love yourself. And good things about yourself. And like, not superficial like, I'm a good knitter, Katie, Caitlin. But like something deep. I deserve love because I'm a good person. Actually, wasn't there like a Robert Smalley or Smiley or something on SNL that used to do that? I'm yawning because I'm not completely awake yet and I haven't had caffeine yet. I love myself because deep down, I know that I'm a good person. Oh, I'm just checking the time. I love myself because deep down I'm a good person. I love myself because I trust dogs without a shadow of a doubt. Like, I trust dogs more than I trust myself, which is not necessarily good, but it's true. And dogs love me. And I don't think you can be, and kids love me. And I don't think, if kids and dogs love you, you can't be all bad. And much like the infinity symbol, it means forever, but it also means the combination of good and bad within any one thing or person. Symbolic. I know that I have room to grow, but I also know that there's a lot of good in me. I'm good at taking care of people that I care about. I'm good at giving love. I'm real good at hugs. I give good hugs. I dedicate myself to the people in my life, and I don't mind doing it. I don't do it out of a self-sacrificial reason. I do it because I love it. I love taking care of people and feeling needed in an honest level, and really knowing that I'm contributing and I'm a part of something bigger than just myself. And I think that that's a wonderful thing about me. And I'm a good listener, and I care about other people and their problems and also their happiness. And I'm intelligent. I am smart. I may not be great at math, but I'm very good with logic, spatial awareness. I have many strengths and many amazing qualities. And I deserve to be loved by me, because that's where it all begins. When I love myself more, I can accept the love that Maggie and my sisters and my mom and my dad and my family, they give me. I can accept that, and I can say, you know what? I'll take it. Because I do deserve to be loved. And this is a ridiculously long video, but again, it's me talking things out. I have no problem with people watching it, not watching it, whatever. It may seem narcissistic, and maybe it is, but I kind of feel like I feel better after I sit and talk with you peeps. And to me, it's worth the risk of looking narcissistic if I feel better. And I do. Right now, in this moment, I feel pretty darn good. And the last 24 hours, well, not quite 24 hours, because I did Jillian in the afternoon. And after that, I was kind of a mess and emotional and just nerves on the outside of my body. Because I was processing. Because for me, exercise and the mind have always been hand in hand, ever since I boxed when I was younger. So, I guess the combination of talking it out and exercising was good. I would love to hear why you love yourself and why you're deserving of love. Or if you can't say love, why you like yourself. What you like about yourself. And then I'll come back and tell you what I like about you. Won't that be fun? Because I won't have any problem saying things that I like about you. Right. So thank you so much for spending a part of your day with me. I can't believe you guys are all still here, but I'm so glad you are. And I'm honored that you come and spend any part of your day with me. I truly am. And for those of you that know me, that watch these, if I say something in a vlog that I haven't said to you, it's not because there's something wrong with our connection. It's because I've become incredibly open and free when I vlog. It's become a form of therapy for me. Much like writing. And I have a very hard time letting someone read my writing as I'm writing until it's done. Because I don't necessarily want feedback as I'm saying this stuff. And saying it to you, I would get instant feedback, and I don't want that. Sometimes you just need to purge and get everything out. And then, if people watch it, cool. Because I want to be open and honest with you, and I love you. But I don't want instant feedback about certain things. And people, especially when you're analytical like I am, I read body language incredibly well. And people always give feedback even when they say nothing. So that's why I vlog. And that's why I may not say something to you first. But if you're in my life and you watch one of these and you want to talk to me about something I said, come to me and say, yo, Josh, I saw your video and I'd like to talk to you about something. I promise you I'll be receptive. I promise you I'll be open. I promise you I'm always up for a long talk. Or a short one. I like long talks, obviously. Oh, and I also love myself because I'm really funny. I'm really funny. Okay, I'm hilarious. I'm going to end this. Wherever you guys are, I hope that you're warm and that you're safe. And I normally say I hope that you're surrounded by people that love you, but today I think I'm going to say I hope that you surround yourself with love. And then I hope that helps you accept love from other people. As always, when I sign off, I'm sending you positive energy. I'm sending you love. If you close your eyes and think, I accept the love, that should be good enough. And I hope you feel it when you do that. Because as I'm sitting here, I accept the love. I don't know if you can see, but I got goosebumps. I'm lame, but in a good way. I will see you guys next time. Much love. Peace out.